So we're talking about the guests outside of here, like the public. Are we talking about us? We just see us.
Okay, we're about to get started. Okay. And we're gonna go live stream to Facebook. Okay, going live on Facebook. Waiting room. Okay, good evening, everybody. Welcome to another time with us on Urban Birds and Bees. Wow, we coming at you hard today. We talking about the pretty girl dilemma. Oh my God. And I just got word that this may be a little bit above PG-13, so you may want to put the children to bed for this one, right? So my name is Kerry Neal. I am the host and moderator of Urban Birds and Bees, and I'm assembled here with 8 incredible men who will share their thoughts and opinions regarding the subject matter. So before we get started, we won't wait too long, and also we're joined by our resident therapist, Summer Richards, who's a licensed marriage family therapist, and we'll introduce her in just a few moments. But anyway, Urban Birds and Bees is we spark unfiltered conversations on love, identity, relationships to see Black love thrive in our community. Okay, so that's who we are. It's the podcast is all about, right? Now, let me just give you a overview of the topic for today, so that you're clear. And we thank you all who are coming in and who are joining already. So the purpose of the topic is to examine the cultural phenomena within the Black community and beyond, where men are reevaluating their pursuit of conventionally pretty or fine women in favor of deeper connections with women who embody substance, authenticity, and emotional maturity. Yeah, where are those women at? Where are those women at? Oh, those women that exist out there. Where are the women at? Where are those women at? Raise your hand, women. Where you at? No. I said, this conversation isn't about vilifying beauty. It's not about that at all, right? But it's about exploring the tension between physical attraction, social conditioning, and we're going to talk about the social conditioning too, because that's really important, right? And long-term compatibility for Black men navigating desirability, masculinity, and cultural pressures has unique aspects that merit honest reflection. I guarantee you, you're going to get some honest reflection. I guarantee you, right? By bringing together panelists ranging from age 30 to 60, this dialogue seeks to unpack generational differences in how beauty and substance are valued, examine the cultural and social forces shaping perceptions of pretty and worthy. Nothing that's very interesting, right? Explore how Black men define maturity, femininity, partnership, and legacy, provide insights for women about about men and how they are seeking, provides insights for women about what men are truly seeking as they mature. Very important. Okay, now this conversation is not just about dating, it's about values, identity, and how we select partners who match the life we're creating. That's what we are. Okay, we're gonna listen to more of these folks in here. We got Anthony that's joined us, another one of our panelists. So gentlemen, how you guys doing today? You guys good? You good?
Everybody, I'm doing great.
Yeah. That's what's up. That's what's up. That's what's up.
Doing good, doing great.
Yeah. Now, before we jump in, I just want to introduce some of the panel members to you, right? We had, you guys don't know this, but we had like this pre-meeting, this briefing. And we could have just started the podcast from that briefing. That was very interesting, right? Well, first of all, we're gonna go to Marvin. Marvin, say what's up to the people.
Hey everybody, Marvin. Marvin Lawton, glad to be here. Thank you for having me on the panel, and
Yeah.
it's going to be good times. Yeah.
Oh, yes, definitely gonna be some good times, that's for sure. Raz Williams on his way to San Jose, but he made time to participate as one of our panelists. Raz, bro, say what's up to the people.
Hey, what's going on, everybody?
Yeah, that's what's up. That's what's up. Then we got Anthony. Anthony, bro, I saw you come in. Where you at, bro? Say something to the people.
Hey, what's up, everybody? I'm just checking in. Hope to have a good discussion and, catch up with some folks. But yeah, good to see everybody.
Yeah. Make sure you put yourself on camera, man, so we can bring you on as part of the panel. So we can hook that up, right? Also, we got the one and only, the Dr. Dapper in the house joining the panel. Dr. Dapper, say what's up to the people, bro.
What's up, Kay? What's up, Uncle Neil?
What's up with you, bro? What's up? Okay.
Thanks,
he's in Southern California by way of Arkansas, but he is headed to the Bay Area to take over Silicon Valley. And I believe he's going to do that. And then my guy, my road dog, Tyree. Bro is bi-coastal, but he's on the West Coast today for the podcast. Say what's up to the people, Tyree.
What's going on, everybody?
Yeah.
I'm looking forward to tonight's conversation.
Yeah. And then long time, multiple decades buddy, grew up together, the whole bit. Daniel Hill, who brings it. Daniel, say what's up to the people, bro.
What up, though? Yeah, I got some things to say.
Yeah, he does.
I'm gonna behave myself.
And he's checking all the way from the state of Georgia. Yeah, Augusta. And then we kind of staying on the East Coast a little bit right here. We got my guy Moses Rivers, bro. Say what's up to the people all the way from Jersey, right?
Yep, Jersey, New York area.
Yeah. For sure.
Here.
Making it happen. Okay. And then last but not least, I want to make sure, do we get everybody on the panel? Yeah, we got everybody on the panel. Okay. We want to bring Anthony on so we can see you, bro.
I'm trying to get my audio effects.
It ain't your audio, bro, it's your lighting. But
lighting?
But anyway, we're joined also by Summer Danielle Richards, a licensed marriage and
middle
family
name
therapist. Well, that's what you gave me. I'm just reading what you gave me, bro. Okay, anyway.
Go for it.
Okay, a licensed marriage and family therapist with 20 years of experience. She worked in schools, has taught the graduate level, and now runs her own private practice, helping individuals, couples, and families navigate relationship dynamics. She's also a proud mother too, embracing a new chapter as a single parent. We're excited to have her with us. Summer, say what's up to the people.
What's up to the people?
Yeah.
I'm just happy to be here. It's a special privilege to be invited into the man cave. Not every woman gets invited to the man cave, ladies. So, take some notes. You get invited too.
Yeah. For sure.
Here, did you introduce Brother Robert too? To make sure, did you get Brother Robert also?
Oh, dude, Robert, did I miss you, bro? Oh,
Brother Robert.
How did I miss?
I'm hiding here in the corner.
No, bro. Everybody give mad love to Rob. He is checking in with us. He hails originally from Boston, but he's now here in Southern Cali. Rob, say what's up to the people.
Hey, everyone, looking forward to the dialogue and glad to be a part of it. It's going to be, I think, fun. It's fun and engaging.
Yeah. Now, it's not by accident we have this meeting in here. It was intentional. It was designed that way. So you can get perspectives from multiple generations. Can't say someone's too young. You can't say that somebody's too old, whatever it is. You're going to get an aggregate of insight from men of all ages. Very important. Now, the other thing we want to say, if you are not on the panel, we ask that you would mute yourself. Trust me. There'll be an opportunity for you to talk. There'll be an opportunity for you to share your thoughts. And we may even bring you on. So. All right.
Okay.
So
why he look like he playing around? He look like he up to something.
You can mute other people's stuff too because you run it.
Yeah, I'm playing.
You can just mute her. She probably don't know it's not muted.
Okay. Yeah. Very important. And this has also been recorded live. So all that background talk It's gonna be on there as well. But it's all good. It's a beautiful thing. Okay. So before we dive into our men, I want to show a video, and that's kind of sort of sets the tone. And essentially, we're just going to ask the men to sort of react to it. Okay. So just give us a few moments as we set it up here really quickly. Okay. Here we go. Okay, let's try this again. Just one more time.
For the first time.
I know, right?
Pressure's on, Dr. Neil. Make this shit happen.
Yeah, you ain't lying.
Everyone's watching.
Okay, let's try this again. Just one more time.
It might
For the
just
first
be
time.
a delayed effect. So you might just need to let it just
Yeah.
do the thing whenever
Pressure's on, Dr.
Okay, let's try this again. Just one more time.
It might just
For the
be
first time.
a delayed effect. So you might just need to let it.
Okay.
You're delaying when you do that.
Never mind.
Just play the audio. Just play the
Loading.
audio. Just play the audio on your phone. That's the most important part. What he's saying.
Yeah, I know. That's fact. Okay, that's a good idea. Okay. Hold that thought. Hold that thought.
Get you some
Very provocative discussion. Very provocative discussion we're having with him. Okay. Truth after dark. Okay, here we go.
All you men, you stand up men, go out there, put your elbow into making a woman make sure she's straight and hard working and respectable, chest up, chin out men. And you really on the grind and you really got ambition, man. Leave these little pretty girls alone, bro. They don't put their elbow in it. I'm gonna keep it 100. Over there looking at, oh, she bad. Oh, look at her Instagram. Oh, she a 9, she a 10. No, I'll get you a 5 or a 6 who gonna put some elbow into it and gonna be down for you on some 100. You know what I'm saying? They gonna look at you like, why he with her? Don't worry about why I'm with her. Cause she gonna do everything you ain't doing. 100%. That's the new wave we should be on, fellas. Like, man, forget all that how you look when you with your arm around her. No, she ain't got no substance to her. All you men, stand up.
So did that come through loud and clear?
Yes.
It did.
Okay.
Yes.
That's a beautiful thing. So let's talk about that. Daniel, what's your reaction to that?
He stole that from me. You know, Carrie, months ago, years ago, I told you, I've been saying this in our little guys group chat that, you know, we created this this pretty woman thing. I agree with the brother 100%. I always tell y'all, stop that dime chasing. Get you a good ass woman. It's nothing. She's not ugly. She's beautiful. But the problem is a lot of us brothers are throwing away the good ass women. Maybe she got a few extra pounds or so you want to postpone her. Because as guys, we can go back in and try again. You know, or maybe her hair ain't long enough, or whatever bullshit answer we come up with, why to deny ourselves that perfect ass woman. Better go and get her.
Okay. Marvin, thoughts on that, bro? I mean, he said a lot there. He had a lot
I
on
had to
that.
cut myself back.
Yeah, right. Marvin, what's your thoughts, bro?
Yeah, how I'm gonna answer that is, and transparent, this is man cave. I love it. You know, I'm still visual. You know, what I mean, although I wear readers, I mean, I still readers or no readers, I still like, you know, pretty women. It's very subjective, but what has helped me along the way is character based, and this is how this is the gem that was given to me by a elder.
You know what? It ain't that subjective, but anyway, go ahead.
No, hold on. Yeah. And he said, Marvin, and we were sitting out, having a cocktail or whatever. This gorgeous lady walked by. I mean, she was, drop dead gorgeous, top to bottom. And I think she might have been natural more than done, right? He said, Marvin, right now, despite her being as fine as she is, there's a man right now who looks at her and is actually disgusted. There's some man in her life right now that looks at her and is disgusted with the sight of her. What he was simply inferring is that character base. At the end of the day, not every fine woman, it doesn't equate that she is fine on the inside. And I said, man, I never thought about it like that, but that's true. So it's helped me. Like, no matter how fine a woman is, I have to remember there's somebody who right now in her life who looks at her and thinks she is disgusting because of who she is on the inside. Now, I'm not making a blanket statement. What I'm saying is, character base supersedes beauty. Very simple.
Yeah, man, that's for real. Raz, what you think, bro?
Yeah, can you hear me?
Yeah, you're good.
All right, I apologize, I'm driving. So yeah, so I think what he's referring to is just I don't know, I think like beauty is like, for us men, I know for me, beauty is like magical, man. It kind of mesmerizes. I just feel like, I mean, a lot of men, we're trained in this world, beauty can be like a status symbol to us, like we've accomplished something. We've got the car, we've got the money, and we got the honey. So it's all part of the male ego type of accomplishment, and we're very accomplishment driven. So I think what he's trying to say is that you can't put all your stock in a beautiful woman. And I kind of half agree with him and half don't, because I know plenty of beautiful women that are very humble and can do a lot of things and are very are an asset to their men's lives. So I think it can, but I know what he's also saying, where beautiful women are trained to be, if you will, self-entitled and don't have to have a lot of debt because they get given a lot of things because of they're pretty privileged. So I get it.
Yeah. Rob, thoughts?
It goes a couple of ways, right? Because he's an NBA player, so he's seen those tens, and so he's had all these women come at him. But he's also saying, I think, that there's plenty of girls that aren't tens that are legit and aren't going to give you the headache, because he's probably seen the headache that they cause. You see, one of the guys that I think he's in the NBA. I forget the guy who used to play in the Rockets, but he got with a 40-year-old and she's knocked up. And then you see Anthony Edwards having all these women knocked up, and he's seeing all the headache that he's going through with the child support, the custody, and then see what the kids are going through. And he's like, you could have left all that behind if you just got with someone, quote unquote, like average looking, or maybe not as like the trophy Instagram person that has 200,000 followers and every guy's in their DMs and stuff. So I think it comes down to him saying, yeah, I've been there and I've seen it all. And I've also seen the average person. Trust me, you don't want the headache, because when it comes down, that beauty is going to fade. And where are you at down the road when you get like Marvin was saying earlier, when that's going to fade, there's going to be someone that despises that person when he sees her, like, I can't stand her because she done ruined me financially because of the situation she put me in, or because I thought she was pretty. I didn't go after her character. I just looked at the beauty of her aesthetically, not anything really past that.
Interesting. Moses, thoughts on that, bro?
Yeah, so all that glitters isn't gold, and he actually pre-qualified that for the guys that are serious about what they're going after. He's telling them, warning them, stay away from these women. Social media has everything looking very aesthetically pleasing. So you want your girl aesthetically pleasing, and not this way. Not what another gentleman said. Not every woman that is good looking has these qualities, but there are some that you can just tell off the bat they're really not about anything. If you're sober minded, you'll know she just looks good.
Yeah.
She just looks good. That's it. She a baddie. She got bad attitude. She got bad credit. She got bad communication skills, but she looked good in that dress. Now that Fashion Nova got her looking right, but that's it. And you know this, so don't chase after that, because you're only just, for them, most of them are opportunists. So you're just that opportunity for them to get that leg up.
Yeah. Anthony, bro.
Okay. I'm going to say this.
Say it, Anthony.
Break it down, and break it down, bro. Break it down.
Okay. So when it comes to so-called pretty women, God made women a certain way for men to chase after. I'm going to be frank, vagina. Men hunt for women. We hunt for pretty women. That's in our nature. God
Right.
made us that way.
Facts.
So a lot of times the issue is on us men because women can smell you don't have confidence. Women can smell, oh, he's scared to talk to a pretty woman. He's scared to talk to me because he thinks women can smell it on people can smell it on you. So I don't think it's necessarily chasing pretty women. It's just men, you lack confidence. You know? If you tell a woman, hey, do you want to go home with me? All she's gonna say yes or no. So you have to be that one to say, hey, you know what, this is what I'm about. You trying to kick it with me or not? And a lot of the men's problem has nothing really to do with women per se. That it doesn't it starts with just your lack of confidence. If you want a pretty woman or whatever type of woman you want, just go after her. She could be non-pretty, whatever you want to classify her as. Go after her. Be a hunter. That's a man's nature. Be a hunt and go and get you some pussy. I mean, some women.
But I think that's the issue, though. I'm sorry to step in here.
No, go ahead.
Go ahead.
Is that you guys are hunters,
Right.
you see and are attracted to something that you like. And when you see that thing and you get that thing, what the end result is you end up hurt or broke or disgusted or whatever. So I don't know. I think that, I love the fact that, you guys have mentioned, participating in the social conditioning of this whole issue. But I would like to hear more about this hunt, this attraction, this, where it begins, and go after that thing. You know what I'm saying? What happens at that point? What's the thought process if it is ending up in this place where you guys really don't want to be?
I mean, the first thought processes of when men see attractive women is to mate. We want to mate with women. That's how this world works.
Yeah.
And I don't see that changing anytime soon. As far as that goes, so the women, I guess what I'm trying to say is if the woman is pretty or not, that doesn't, define on what type of person she is. Like
Absolutely.
a person could be attractive to you or not as attractive to you or middling to you or whatever scale you want to put her, whatever number you want to put her on a scale, that doesn't really gonna mean anything as far as what type of character she has or whether she's a fit for you. But if you do want a particular type of woman, you should go after her.
Yeah,
If
because
she's
I'm,
a
I'm, I'm,
10
I
or
want to challenge.
she's
I want to challenge everything.
12.
I
go
want to
go
challenge
go
everything.
go.
I want to challenge everything. I think I do agree that it's on the man's. It comes down to like men maturing really. Niggas be thinking for the night, not for legacy. So when it pertains to hunting, men aren't always hunting for reproduction. Some men are just hunting to bust a nut that night.
Yeah.
So it's like where are you as a man? Have you evolved from being a hoe to desiring to be a husband? And then what you hunt for ends up changing. And then what you hunt for ends up changing. And what changes is just this pretty woman doesn't really matter. So a lot of men are very surface level, they're very shallow, they're not going deep. They're afraid to go deep. They're afraid to talk about the nights when they couldn't get hard. And the night they couldn't get hard was because they weren't connected with the woman. And now they got erectile dysfunction because they have sexual anxiety. And it's like, so these are things that what you're saying, Anthony, is kind of like that is to me it's shallow because it's like you have to go deeper and be like, how old am I? What do I want for my future? And why do I end up getting fucked over? Because
But that's the initial reason though. Like you're talking about stuff that's down the line. I'm talking about if you. I'm saying in a sense of
Maybe that's
do
the
you want
issue,
if you
though.
want
that's
a,
the
if you
issue.
want a
That's the
pretty
That's the
woman,
issue.
issue.
That's the issue.
if you
That's the
want a pretty
issue.
woman,
Wait,
go after a
wait,
pretty woman. That's all. That's
wait,
all I'm saying. I'm not telling you not
wait,
to do
wait,
it. I'm just saying.
wait. The issue is men aren't thinking long term enough. I date pretty women. Every woman
Okay,
I've been with is beautiful,
there
but
you go.
so there are beautiful women that are smart and educated, but there are beautiful women that live on a mattress in a 3-bedroom with 5 women. And it's like if you're gonna end up with that one if you're going out for the night trying to get a nut and you're not looking to, okay, I'm not trying to have sex with you when I first meet you. I want to take you out to tea. you know, next week. It's like, so what? So I think it goes from men evolving from the college bust a nut whole guy to, damn, I want to have a family. I want to really grow. I want to really have a future with the person, because that's
What does that have to do with how attractive the woman is, though? What does that have to do with how attractive the woman is?
And that's everything we're talking about is subjective. So none of this shit really matters because everybody gonna
Well,
do
it
it.
all matters.
So,
I mean, we're
so
talking
it's
about pretty
subjective
women. We're not
matters.
talking about, but we're talking about pretty women. That's what this. So
That's
what does that have to
subjective.
do with how attractive the woman is? What does that have to do with how attractive the woman is? If,
All right,
if you
okay,
to
okay.
do whatever
Go ahead.
whatever your plans are.
Okay, so we're gonna go here to Tyree, bro. Okay, they over here saying it's the bruh's fault.
It is our fault.
Dr. Dapper over here talking about a delayed nut. Dude, like it's like, dude, Tyree, weigh in, bro.
Yeah, man. What's coming up for me is I remember a buddy of mine said something that he got from a man in his life, an older man that was in his life. He said, women love through their ears and men fall in love through their eyes. So we see, it is what we see, right? That's the initial attraction, kind of like what Ann's talking about. That is the initial attraction. Like, like Magic Johnson put me through college, and he always would tell a story about when he first saw Cookie. He shared the story about, man, I saw her in these jeans. And that was like the premise that was the initial attraction that made him pursue, to get to know more about her and see, you know, if there's alignment there. Because after okay, I'm attracted to you, oh, you're attracted to me too, okay, cool. So now where are we in each other's lives, or in our lives individually, like, and is there alignment there? Do we want the same things, essentially? And there's the conversation from there.
I think it's a starting point for people, right? Like if I'm not attracted to them, or you know, if they like heavy metal and I like R&B, like I know it ain't gonna work, or like, you know, they're gonna be in different interests from what I'm into or whatever. So if we're not even physically attracted, you don't have to be obsessed with them, but it might be something where, you know, but I agree, women kind of tend to go with the overall package where guys are just gonna look initially, say, oh yeah, she's fly, I like her, I think she's pretty or whatever. But I think that's the starting point. Going to get past that. And then I think it depends on where you at in your life too. Like Dr. Dapper was saying, like in the beginning, when you're young, you're like, oh, she's fine. That's all I care about. And then you start going out with these fine girls and you're like, this ain't it. Or you're like, oh, she's about to ruin me financially. I don't want to be, I can see this is just going to be an expense, a liability. And I don't want that because I'm building for whatever I'm building towards, but I don't even want to be dealing with that. And you can tell, like I guess my leash is a lot shorter on that stuff than it used to be when I was younger, because I done seen how it all folds out if you go down this path of just being obsessed with the looks.
Okay. So
yeah, you know,
go ahead.
As the 60-year-old here, I have experienced all of the levels that you all have just discussed. You know, when in my younger years, she had to be slim, she had to be pretty, you know, because we're looking for that woman that we've been dreaming of marrying since we were kids. Since we've been attracted to women, we've always had an idea of what that woman we marry is going to look like. And we all pretty much damn near had that same pretty slim, height, weight, proportionate woman. And then as we get a little older, we start recognizing that there's more than just that initial beauty that we started off with. And then now, when I got into my 40s, that's when I started saying, you know, or I'm sorry, my 50s. When I got into my 50s, I was like, I gotta switch up how I go about my selection, you know. And I started realizing that there's value in all these women. I'm a little biased for the Black women because I think damn near all of them are pretty, but not all of them are beautiful. And I think that's what we are talking about here. You all keep mentioning the pretty women, the pretty women. In my eyes, damn near all of them are pretty. Not all of them are beautiful. And it's them beautiful motherfuckers that we talking about. They the ones who've been spoiled, because we've been putting them on a pedestal all our lives since we was in elementary school, putting that beautiful young lady on a pedestal. And sometimes in order to get their attention, we did things if we were in position to do that. It's like giving them cash, giving them gifts. So we've made this monster. Eye candy. We congratulate men for the beauty of a woman. A man will walk up to another man, yo, dog, dab him up. Shit, nigga, that's you. Nigga, I didn't know you had it in you. Come on now. We created this monster.
Okay, we'll go to you real quick, Anthony, for a second. But Daniel, I want you to make a distinction. Define the difference between when you said beautiful and pretty. What's that? What do we say that you say all women are pretty, but not all of them are beautiful? What do you mean by beautiful?
The beautiful woman makes you stop. You know it. You know what I'm saying. I mean, it's for every individual. Sometimes you can sit one and be like, God damn, he is fucking beautiful. But then sometimes you'll just see a woman, oh my goodness, that's a good looking woman. But she's straight, she's pretty, you know, not ugly. Pretty women are not ugly. Beautiful women are more than pretty.
Okay, that's interesting. I'm going to Anthony, then Summer, I want you to chime in everything you just heard. Okay, Anthony, go ahead, bro.
Okay, again, it speaks to like I know he mentioned, you know, the beautiful woman is getting the cars, the cash apps, the rent being paid, and all that. All that has to just do, again, it stems from the lack of confidence of men. You just feel so like you don't feel that you are worth just being yourself, and she'll fuck with you just off of just you being you. You feel like you have to give this money, you have to do this, you have to do that. Just be like, hey, look, this is what I'm about, and if she ain't roll with you, fuck it. Just say, hey, you know what? Nice meeting you, two fingers, and that's it. But all that,
But if you got it, it ain't no
that's
problem.
your fault as a man. That's not the woman's fault that you lack that confidence and you want to give her money and do all this and
Oh,
all
we
that
renting that
crazy.
pussy.
That's crazy to me. But you know, to each his own.
But there's a lot of dudes that will
Sometimes,
do it. So you're not like saying like I never been that dude that be like, oh, I'm just gonna do that and just spend money, do dumb stuff. Because
Right.
you look back at it. But there's so many dudes that are dumb like that will do it, and they're so used to that. So you
and
like
they
you were
fucking the
saying,
game
there's a
up.
pretty one, but then there's those beautiful ones where like they're like getting chartered flights, they're getting on private jets and all that. And so all these
Oh
dudes
no,
are
you're a
like,
little
"Hey,
too
that guy's
hard.
doing that, and this other guy's doing it, and they don't know, and they're playing all these dudes. So they might have this one guy that pays all the bills and does all that, but then they have this guy that actually can make them laugh and carry a conversation, actually remember what she's saying. She's like, oh, actually, this dude is the one I really like, and he ain't got to do all that. But you have that dilemma because everyone's going after that one girl, but she might, like there might be ones that like, okay, he's gonna get my car note. I'll hang out with him tonight. I'll be cool. But the guy I really like is back home because he's hilarious. He's cool. He actually listens to me. He can carry himself, can actually hold a conversation. I've talked to plenty of girls where they're like, you can actually carry yourself and hold a conversation. So I've seen the other side because I've got a lot of cousins that are females, and I've seen like other sides, like both perspectives of where like I'm just hanging around with them, seeing like, oh, okay, this is a different point of view that I wouldn't normally get if I was with the fellas.
Okay, it's just best just get with a girl that wants to get with your program. Like if she's
Yeah, exactly.
rocking with you and she like just get with a girl that wants to get with your program.
Well, I think that's what we're talking about is like the girl to go to the program. Do we need to play not as much attention to the physical? So Summer, you've been hearing a lot of, there's been a lot of stuff been going on.
A lot.
Give us your therapeutic lens on some of this.
So since there has been a lot, my brain has to kind of process, but what I'm hearing is that, at different stages in a man's life, they look at the dating aspect differently. And typically it starts off where it's just about physical attraction and what they can get physically from the woman. And sometimes because of that, men tend to give a lot. They tend to invest a lot, whether it's their money, their time, their attention, and all of that. And when they do that at the forefront, without keeping in mind, like Dr. Dapper said, like the legacy piece, they're not really, you're not really prepared for what the outcome might be, which is this person may not be full of a lot of substance in the end. That can kind of go for the long haul. And so your investment, you lose on your investment, basically. But overall, I think what I'm hearing from each man is that there's a contribution from the men that create this dance between men and women. And so, hopefully in the end, we'll get to some, possible solutions about, how can we make this a situation that you benefit in the end? Like what needs to be infused in those initial the initial connection that you make with the woman, because obviously, like, beauty can be pretty subjective. There are those that overall anybody can look at and be like, oh my gosh, you know, that's just a beautiful person, right? But whatever you're attracted to, you know, what are you evaluating? What is it that you are wanting from this? Where are you at in terms of your particular goals, you know, and the direction that you want to go for your life is what I'm hearing. It needs to be established.
Yeah. Okay. So here's what I want to do, right? Because I think to some degree, I think we get a little bit too scientific about this, right? Some of this stuff is just way too obvious. Marvin, I'm going to go to you. Marvin, okay. Help us understand, why would we even come up with the topic, the pretty girl dilemma? What are we experiencing with pretty women that we don't experience as much with women who may not be as fine based on society standards and so forth? Give us your experience, because we're all over the place here. It's like, I'm thinking, am I crazy or something like that? Wait a minute. What is it from your experience? Let's just talk about your experience. Go, bro.
I think it's like entitlement, probably the number one thing. There's a certain level of entitlement where, I mean, what I love about social media, it's just exposed what's already what we've had to deal with for really like decades. I mean, case in point, the Cheesecake Factory media post. You know, the one where she was like, "How dare you take me to cheesecake?" So the reason why it got so much traction, because the world had not seen it, right? But we have to deal with that. We've had to deal with that on a regular, as a regular guy. I'm a regular guy. I mean, I got degrees and all stuff, but like, I'm not like, you know, 7-figure Paul Pierce, right? And that was, I was doing that in college, you know. And then the irony is, with that entitlement, I'm gonna use a college story. I think about the times where, you know, I would try to go to cheesecake or go to a you know, a chain nice restaurant, barely got the time of day, but the ballers in college was able to, you know, tap that young lady free of charge just because they were Division I or Division I and maybe NBA bound. So it's really, in summary, because I want the whole panel to get their chance. The variance is the magnitude of the entitlement. You know,
Right.
where I don't have to call you, you call me. Like,
Right.
everything is me, right? And they move and operate in that, and they know us as men, as conquistadors, if you don't do it, there are literally 20 in line who will with gladness.
Okay.
Mhm.
Because what I'm sort of hearing from some of the panelists, thank you, Martin, for that, is that we men, we created that, right? It's like, for instance, this whole, I was with, you know, all you guys that are listening on Facebook Live and here on the Zoom, we talked about this concept called the halo effect. Look it up. And so, you know, I'm not just making something up, but the halo effect is assumptions we make about you based upon how beautiful we perceive you to be. And to be more clear, specific, and particularly in the Black community, the lighter you are, the more favorable you are. You're probably gonna get the job. You're probably gonna get the promotion. You're probably gonna be asked out. You're probably given benefit of the doubt. You're seen as less threatening. There's all kind of things. So, I mean, we even say sometimes when, let's say, something going down and a dude is light skinned, we say, dude, stop acting light skinned. I mean, this whole idea of when you're lighter is better, and there's an absolute privilege. And matter of fact, we did a podcast about this like a year and a half ago or something like that. Matter of fact, Tyree was on it. And we were talking about the whole thing where there are certain a downside in terms of what is perceived to be beautiful. And unfortunately, even in our community, the lighter you are, it is perceived you to be more attractive, because we're talking about this continuum that the closer you are to blonde hair, blue eyes, that makes you beautiful. And what we're trying to unpack is, we're saying, damn, what can we do? We want the beautiful woman, but man, can we be somewhat reasonable here? Bro, let's go to Moses. Speak to that, bro.
Yeah, so it is what Marvel was saying, the entitlement. I showed you guys earlier last week about the one date I had where the girl expected me to go all out, because men have done that for her. I had a rule. I never dated any girl that I met at my house, whether she knew I owned it or not. I just wouldn't do it. And this particular girl I met at my house. And it proved our point. Like, okay, you want me to take you to the most expensive restaurant in New Jersey, and you want me to send you an Uber. And that's not really a problem for me. I would do that. My problem was more the fact that she cared more about the place I was taking to her. She wanted to rearrange their location. I set up the date, and then she demanded the Uber. And it was just like, you didn't take any time to get to know me. So what is it that you're really after?
Yeah.
If we had spoken for a week, if we had spoken on the phone here and there, not a problem. I would have done it because whatever. She's coming from two different locations in New Jersey. I'll send the Uber, not a problem. But you spent no time trying to get to know me. But you have these demands. And she's the person, she has a decent job. She does go to these restaurants herself. But like I said, my problem was you took no time to get to know me, but you demanded, not requested, but demanded that type of treatment. And I'm just like, I don't know you. And it comes from guys doing it. Guys will trick. I got it. They really don't got it. But they'll be like, yo, mess with me. I got it. No, they really don't. But, you know, if you're a wise person with your finances, you're not going to do that.
And that's the thing. There's some people that aren't wise with their finances and like, I got to keep doing it and keep up and ensure that I got what I don't really have. And then I saw something online where it said dating a girl is less expensive when she actually likes you. So when she don't like you, she's like, okay, I don't like him, so I'll just whatever. Because I've seen girls when I've gone out, they're like, no, like let me pay for it, or they'll go and pay for the dinner before you even knew they paid for it after you go out with them for a couple of times. So I've seen that when they actually genuinely like you. But I've seen my little litmus test if we go out to eat and I pay for it, right? Because if I'm going out to eat, I'm expecting to pay for it in the first date. I just see if they say thank you at some point, either after that or after the date's over. If they don't say thank you, I'm like, I've asked people, friends, I'm like, am I being petty for knowing that? I go, because if she don't even say thank you, that's my golden rule right there. I'm done. Because you don't have the decency to say thank you for a meal. I don't care if it's at cheesecake. I don't care if it's at fine dining or whatever. On the first time we meet, if you're not saying thank you for the date, and in the sense of otherwise, I paid for everything. You don't care. In my eyes, that's how I see it. It's a subtle tell.
Yeah. Let me say something really quick. And Mose, I'm gonna put you on blast for a little bit, bro. I hope you don't mind. Right? I'm gonna flex on your behalf, right? I want you, ladies, I want you to listen because we're giving you a freaking hack. Okay, we want to let you know this is multi-generational. We are giving you game right now. Okay, hear what we're being saying. It doesn't take a lot because if we know that you're into us for us, you have everything. Everything. Now, I want to particularly just focus on Mose for a second because I'm a flex for you. He is a multi-millionaire. You guys wouldn't know this. He's a multi-millionaire. He just said to you, he was on his date. Wow, do you want to know anything about me? Well, bro, maybe she understood, brother, that you were stacking paper like that. And she just figured that just came along with the territory, whatever the case may be. But no, it doesn't matter how much money we got. We just want to know. We know that you're fine. Oh, we know, and we want to do for you. Oh, golly. Daniel, you want to speak to that, bro?
What part of it?
Any part of it. Is it true? Is it true? Is it true? Hold on a second. Is it true if we know that from our vantage point that we believe that she is into us for us, literally they can have anything we have?
Yes, I think it's true.
Yeah.
That's how I kind of feel, when I was dating a woman. Now that I'm engaged and I'm going to be happily married next year. I'm speaking from my past experiences, but yeah, if I felt that a woman was genuine while I was dating her, I had no problem being, free with my gifts or, support of her some way financially. But she can't come through the door telling me that it's not my turn to start paying for her hair. She can't come through the door and say, it's time for me to start paying for her nails. She can't come through the door asking me, telling me it's time for me to pay for any damn thing.
Absolutely.
Yeah, yeah.
Well,
Uh,
I'm hoping, Daniel, that
Go
that
ahead.
is the current situation, that your current fiance showed you
Wonderful
that she
woman.
loved you, you know,
She's a
and she's
wonderful
earned
woman.
this position in your life,
You see
right?
that smile on
It's
his
just
face?
this
Yes.
present, you know,
She must be
you're
watching too, so that probably
right.
factors in.
Nah, she's not watching.
No.
No, no, no. Behind the scenes.
Hey, Raz,
But
bro, we've been saying a lot of stuff here. Want to chime in on this, bro?
Yeah. So ask the question again. I'm sorry.
Well, so we're just talking generally about the idea, the hack of what really is to a man's heart. We want to shower and do all these great things for women and whatever the case may be, but there seemed to be a consistent theme of entitlement and things like that based upon their aesthetics. You have any experience with that? Any commentary on that?
Oh yeah. So I know quite a few beautiful women, and I would say it's 50-50 in the sense that I think for women, beauty is like a superpower. It's also a responsibility. You can either use it irresponsibly or to be deceitful, to be manipulative. You can use it for the wrong reasons, or you can be humble and attract a righteous brother in your life. And I think for those that use it for the latter, usually they will find a man if they just show their genuine nature, a man will do what he will move the earth for that right woman because
Yeah.
he knows intrinsically she loves him for him. Versus the woman who uses her beauty to manipulate men, to get cars, get her bills paid, get free dinners and stuff like that. So it all depends, man. But again, there's men that like that. They don't care. They don't have character, like Dr. Dapper said. There are men out there in the world who are not long-term thinkers. They're just short-term. And a long-term thinker is going to probably want to attract a woman who is going to be able to create legacy with him, take care of him, and be his partner in life.
Yeah.
So
I think for the purpose of our discussion, and someone will go back to you, but I think you were going to say something. Think of this conversation, not just who I just want to go out for the night and can I hit and go. Think of this conversation in the context of who we might see, who we want to have as our wife. Think wife in a sense. May not be immediate, or it could just maybe exclusive relationship that may end up being marriage, or just this is the person we are trying to assess if I want to be with her exclusively. That's the framing we should be talking about, because if we talk about anything, then anything goes, and then what's the point of having this conversation? But we're really talking about this whole idea of what leads us to commitment and some of the barriers that may preclude commitment. Summer.
Okay, so you kind of shifted my thoughts right there, but I held on to one. One of them, I wanted to kind of, I don't know if we can, piggyback on this whole entitlement thing.
Yeah, we can't
I
go.
wanted to challenge, not maybe challenge, but just pick the men's minds about when you discover that there is possibly a sense of entitlement or a lack of gratitude, some of you guys kind of described, in a woman that you might have chosen to date. What do you do after that point? Because what you do after that point, I think, either participates somewhat in the social conditioning to continue to go perpetuate the sense of entitlement, or it can provide a answer for the women to be enlightened about how they may be presenting. So what do you guys do? How
It's
do
real
you?
simple. Whenever I was running to a woman like that, if you really, really want to see what she is about, meaning physically, you hang around for a little while. We'll spend a little time just to hit it and be gone. When we meet women like that, we know they're temporary. If we continue, from speaking for myself, If I run into a woman and she comes to the door and I can see she about that bullshit, but I know I can handle that, and I can control some of it. I kick it with her for a little bit because I'm gonna hit that. But then after that, we be like, all right, I see there's no substance here. A few months later, we gone.
Okay.
We treat them like they are.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
So
I want to hear somebody else
So
chime in about that, and I have a little bit of a follow-up to this. Okay.
yeah, so for me personally, I desire marriage, so I'm only gonna uh, invest my time with a woman who I feel is worthy.
Mm-hmm.
Beauty in and of itself is not enough for me just to keep me bound, should I say? So I'm gonna obviously investigate to see if we connect, if we mesh on a whole list of levels. But if there's nothing there outside of beauty, then I'm gone. So
Temporary. For
Okay.
different reasons, he's saying the same thing. She's
Yeah.
temporary.
Yeah, absolutely. So my thing is, what if we're not looking beyond the surface, right? We see entitlement. I'm just putting this out there. It might be a little controversial, but maybe there's something behind or underneath this presentation of entitlement. What women are looking for in relationships in the first place that can look like entitlement, look like I need to check to see what this man can provide or invest. What would you guys say that might be? That's an actual positive that is pretty, I would say, globally a need that women have that might be driving this.
well, I think all women want to be provided for. They want to see that man can provide for them and protect them. I get that.
Okay.
But I think it's the way they go about doing it.
Okay.
We can
Absolutely.
you can do this in a positive conversation to assess that man's ability to protect and provide for you. But when you're doing it in a way that shows that you are insensitive of that man of where he's at in life, for example, I've seen, for example, look at Michelle Obama invested in Barack Obama. He didn't have a lot when she first met him.
Mm-hmm.
That said, you know what? I'm gonna take a risk. I see beyond the physical. I see beyond his current circumstances, and I'm gonna bet on this man. And she became the first lady. So a lot of women do not have that superpower. They don't. They have a lot of them want it now. They don't. They want the finished product versus taking the time to assess, where he's at and see if they can grow with this man. So a lot of us men who are on our journey, we, to be completely honest with you. So,
what I want to do is I want to get Tyree and Dr. Dapp to chime in on this because this is really great. I appreciate what you're saying, Summer. So Tyree, help us, and I see you too, Anthony, right? So Tyree, help us unpack because we're calling something entitlement. Raz talked about, well, that's okay. And then, our therapist here, Summer, is making it very clear. Well, is this really entitlement or is this something else? So can we kind of unpeel what this entitlement may be that we see it? Maybe the woman sees it differently, not as entitlement, but we're calling it that, right? Could you, from your vantage point, maybe some of your experiences, Tyree, answer that, Dr. Dapper, and then we can go back to you, Summer. No, it's assuming you go with Anthony after that.
Thanks, Gary. I think what the conversation where we're at in this conversation is like it's really interesting because we're probably the most connected in terms of technology, but we are not talking to each other to get an understanding. I think that we just don't understand, like, or have the like we're in this like TikTok, Vine generation, or Vine is over, but like the social media era when we just want the quick fix. Is it nope, next.
Yes.
But like, can we sit together and just see who the other person is sitting across from us, right? Because one thing is like there's an event that happens, and then there's how we make meaning with that event that happened. So now we're like kind of like processing it and treating what we think about the experience. We're treating that as like that's gold. That's Bible. This is what this really is.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
so let's say Summer, if we or Dr. Richards, if we went on a date and you did something, okay, uh, um, and you did something and I took it the wrong way.
Mm-hmm.
Sometimes we internalize that, and I'm gonna treat you based on how what you did made me feel,
Yeah.
right? And
Mm-hmm.
so my what I do now is I have the conversation. I think
Yeah.
a lot of people are unwilling to have the conversation, and Carrie, especially with the person being attractive and we want them to like us too, we're gonna hold our tongue and say the thing that sometimes say the thing that we want them to hear
Yeah.
versus just saying what's coming up for us.
Yeah, yeah.
Absolutely. That's
Doc,
good.
Doc, Dap,
And so
thoughts?
we're asking just to make sure somewhere like that.
Mm-hmm.
What we're seeing, what society is seeing as entitlement of
Mm-hmm.
women wanting a certain level of treatment or a certain type of first date. You're saying that's them gauging how a man, or you're asking, is that underneath that, is that a woman trying to gauge if a man can provide and protect her based on that?
Absolutely. Absolutely. Because there's things that are done behaviorally on the surface. We interpret that, right? But there's always something that's playing in the background. So I think I shared earlier, like the way in which a therapist sees things, which we teach our clients to also do, is to take the context, the content of what's happening, right? But then there's a process, what's going on underneath. And I think Tyree was hitting that a bit, is that having the conversation takes you a little bit deeper, right? So what is going on with the women? Is it a sense of, I'm looking for some identifiers that say I could be in a secure situation here with this man based on what he does?
I think there's two parts of it. I'm trying to keep all of them in my head. I can't.
Yeah.
But one is, I think women are viewing the dating process through a lens of trauma. And then I also think people don't truly understand what provide and protect means to them. So that's very vague. Can you provide and protect? And it's like, what the fuck do you mean? Like, if somebody comes up and tries to fight us, can I fight them? Or if provide, do you want me to pay your rent? Or do you want to make sure that you get food in your belly? Do you want me to be your dad, basically? Or do you want to be my partner? So I think it goes deeper into a conversation. Like the first date,
Good.
I
Yes.
don't think it's like, oh, let me gauge to see if you can afford to. And if you're with a woman, I feel like we can gauge that. And a lot of men get themselves into fucked up situations just on some stupid shit, just because they want to be with a pretty woman and be in that space. But I set the standard because just as much as of an investment, I mean the bigger part of the investment is on the man. Just like you said, the ROI. Women say, oh, I get dressed up, I get cute, and I got to go out. But it's like you don't understand. This man just spent $100 five, 6 times in the past month or two, like trying to go out, and then that date led to nothing. So now I just lost essentially $600, $700 on this previous thing. So it's a really big investment for us. So I set the standard for, like, I want to go out on a tea date, and if you don't want to go out to tea with me, fuck off. Cool. Like, I don't want to, we ain't got to do shit then, let's go on a walk. Let's go to the park, because people are connecting the price of the date to
Right.
how interested or how thoughtful you are with the date. And it's like, bro, anybody can take you to Mastro's. That's not thoughtful. But if I know you like the beach and I know you like watermelon and strawberries and XYZ, I'm going to do that. And that might not cost as much. But if you understand that provide and protect, or this man is very thoughtful, he's listening to me, he understands me. So I think it goes back to women, everybody, self is source. The man has to know, what's my standard, what am I willing to give, and what is my like bar for this first date, first 2 dates. And then the woman has to understand, what does provide and protect really mean to me on a deeper level than just some surface shit. And do I care about a man truly knowing me and listening to me and seeing what I like and enjoy, or this easy, very surface level, again, $300 date at Mastro's or Nobu or wherever the fuck it is. So I think it's those two things: viewing dating through a lens of trauma based on what previous men have done, and then having to set these weird standards to, like, kind of preface yourself, like, oh, well, I got dinner out of it, or I got to experience this really nice place. And what does provide and protect mean to you on a deeper level? Because it doesn't mean paying rent or fighting somebody, just
So one thing, thanks for that, Dr. Depp. I want to encourage everyone who's watching, whether it be on Facebook Live or on Zoom, if you have a question or you have a comment, please just raise your hand, put it in chat. We'll read it. We'll make sure we get to it. Okay, I want to get to Anthony, then get to Rob, and then I think back to you, Summer. Okay.
But Kerry,
What's up?
let me say real fast, at 60 years old, dating is much, much better than the horror stories I hear about the younger generations going through. And you know how I am. I really only try to date women within my age range, within like 5 years of my age. I dated a few who were much younger than me, 10, 11 years old, and they were wonderful women. It was cool. But I don't have a lot of the issues that I hear or had when I was dating when I date grown ass women. When I date a woman within like 5 years of my age, they understand what we're trying to put together here. And a lot of that bullshit doesn't happen. So young men, as you get older, if you don't get married in your younger years, your choices should get better as you age. And the quality of the women of the pool gets better with age. There's some good ass women out there in their 40s and 50s, good ass women.
Yeah, and then they may be beyond their mating years too. So,
Yeah,
so they
yeah.
need to kind of find a little bit earlier. Anthony, go ahead, bro.
Well, I'm talking about if they're mating, if the guys we're talking about now are also at that same age range, hopefully they through their damn mating age also. I'm talking about, equilibrium here. I'm not talking about a 20-year-old trying to date a 40-year-old.
Yeah, facts. Anthony, go, bro.
I will say this. She mentioned the term entitled. And to be honest with you, I don't think the women are entitled at all. I think, again, it comes back to the men. The men, if you present yourself to a woman a certain way, she has every right to expect that from you. I think men come in flossing and talking shit about how much money they got and what they this and that. And the woman's like, oh, okay, cool. He's a provider and protector. Why? That's what I expect him to be. That's what he came to me as. So I think that a lot of the men's problem is it comes to them trying to get on the women's program instead of just presenting your program to the woman and say, hey, this is what I'm about, yay or nay, whatever it is that you see in me, let the women decide if you're a provider and protector. You don't go and try to convince her of anything.
Yeah.
You let her see if you're a provider and protector, and she can chime in and let you know what she thinks very, very soon. She'll let you know. She's like, nah, and just go from there. I think that's where a lot of men's problems come from. Like, they keep trying to convince women of things.
I think it's all based on assumption. We're assuming that women are not amenable, willing to change, willing to meet you where you're at, right? Then we're not going to have additional conversations. I think my fear is that you see this sign, you cut them off, she moves on to the next person, conducts herself the same way. And I'm just thinking that it also kind of undermines you guys' power and ability to speak into this situation and cause there to be a change in the social conditioning. So there are women out here that want a strong man. They want to hear your voice. They want to cooperate with you. But if you're not speaking to them in a real way about, how they're coming off, I would say real, but also kind and loving and maybe not loving, because, if at the onset you're not feeling loving, but respectful, they might be willing to hear you say, you know what, you're coming off a bit entitled to me. I don't know if that's how you mean to present.
Okay.
But I'm perceiving that because I noticed that I bought you dinner. I planned this date and I did not hear a thank you. I didn't hear any gratitude. Can we talk about that? So yeah.
So what I want to do before we
I
get
would
to
say
Rob,
you shouldn't even go there in the first place. Like, I mean, if you should be the one to say, hey, look, this is where we're gonna go. And if she says, "Hey," like it's like Dr. Dabber said, "Hey, you want to go to tea? You want to kick it with me? I'm going to tea. Do you want to join me? If not, fuck off. I got better things to do." Something
Well,
just
you,
keep it
But
simple.
that's the point. We're perpetuating the lack of learning, right, between males and females. If we have that attitude right away, I'm not saying that you gotta, fight so hard for this woman that's clearly showing you she's not really interested in your soul, you know. But can you give a little bit of time and effort, like Tyree was saying, to look under the surface, and maybe there's a different possibility here. We can remove entitlement or expand it out and say, okay, like Dr. Dapper's brought in, there could be some trauma here. There could be there could be a little entitlement. There could be social conditioning. Can we have these conversations? Because you never know what kind of impact you can have to create a change in just that one.
I think that comes down to every relationship is hard, so you choose your hard. Sometimes you don't want to take on the project of saying, hey, if we're 30, 35, 40, and you still have the same mindset and you didn't meet a guy on the journey up to this point to kind of shift that and skew that, I'm trying to build. My brother gave a great analogy when I was dating this one chick recently. And he was like, "Well, when's the last time she's dated?" And I was like, "Shit, it's been like a minute," she said. And he was like, "Okay, cool. You came into the garden ready to start planting seeds and nurture and just like start to water it." And he's like, "No one has been there to tend to that garden in a long time. So now you have to come in and have to pick out the weeds and you have to like just mend that and work the grounds." And sometimes men don't, depending on where they are in their life, they don't have the capacity to tend to that garden in that way. They just want to come plant seeds in fertile grounds. And it's like, can we both show up and meet each other where we are and do that self-work? Because now you're telling me to do self-work with you, and I've done all my self-work. So I think it's important to also find people where you can meet them where you're at, and I don't have to go backwards to be like, oh shit, nobody's told you to like stop thinking like this and you're 40. Like, so I think it's not really like, oh, men, you should sit and have this conversation to change your mind. I think you keep moving because like somebody might have time
They've been told.
Yeah, and it doesn't mean you stick with them, but I mean, are you having the conversation? Are you letting them know before you let them go? Because it doesn't mean you have to stay,
Yeah,
you don't have to stay and work that land.
Like Tyree said, I love having hard conversations. I feel like a lot of people
Love
avoid
it.
the tough conversation. So I mean, but you can still have the tough conversation and it lands on dead ears. And it's like, so
True.
at that point, it's kind of like, all right, I told you, cool, I can share that with you, but now I have to release responsibility of the outcome.
Sometimes
Absolutely.
Sometimes when you tell them the truth, they don't want to hear it, and all of a sudden you're the problem. You're like, okay, I wasn't even looking for this stress. I was trying to keep it real with you, but all of a sudden you don't like real, because I'm from the East Coast and we're blunt. And so I've told people, like, wow, that was aggressive. I was like, oh, I'm sorry, we can't handle the truth, so I'll just let it go. I'm just talking about general stuff too.
Yeah.
But there's also, I think, people's expectations, right? So where a girl might be at might be different from where I'm at. So we might be at different expectations, and what their definition of providing might be different from what mine is, and trying to establish all that. Because what I've understood from the women I've talked to, like friends and all that, and just women I've dated, they just want, what their definition might be, protect and provide. It might be just someone like, wow, he's got confidence when he walks in the room, the way he carries himself, or where he talks to people and exchanges. So I feel kind of protected. I've heard some people say, like, if I can't see him winning a fight or being able to fight, or like I'm going to protect us in a fight. If something were to go down, then I don't feel safe. Not saying that he's got to fight for me, but I just want to know, like, okay, I feel comfortable around him in that sense. So I think it kind of depends on that perspective. And I've also seen a shift from when I was in my 20s, like what Marvin was saying. These girls had all these basketball players, football players, whoever going after them. And now that pendulum's kind of shifted. So a guy being in his 20s, the girls don't really want to talk to him because we're trying to develop and grow and build ourselves up. But now we're in our 40s and we've got there, but now their maybe beauty has declined a little bit and they're not getting the attention that they used to get. And now we're starting to get more of that attention. And so like Daniel was saying, like, watch, the women that pool's going to be better. I think it might be better for us men looking for the women, but that pool, from my experience talking to women, they feel like their pool shrunk. And I feel like my pool's gotten bigger as I've gotten older and established myself more.
Well, why are we using, okay, why are we using
Anthony, hold that
basketball players?
Anthony, hold that thought. Okay, we've got my new friend Kia Stanford. She chimed in here and said, "Thank you, Sam. I really appreciate how you explained the entitlement. That entitlement can often just be protection. Excuse me. Many women simply share what they desire. Excuse me, what they desire, and some
Twist it into entitlement.
twist it into entitlement.
Mhm.
It's saying we do hear when we do want to hear men's voices about topics. We learn best when spoken to with realness and tenderness, like you would to your own niece or daughter. Anyway, you want someone to speak to you to your mom is how you should speak to. This is trying to get this to slide down. Anyway,
The women you're
can you read that?
connecting with.
Yeah, okay, here we go. So let me say something really quick. So if you've read any of my articles from the newspaper or things like that, I've often will say something to this effect. Men by far finance dating. We by far finance and are the one who orchestrate the process to get to you. It doesn't mean that women don't do some things sometimes. Whatever else, they're just women who doing some first dates and whatever else. It's a beautiful thing. I think the perception of the man that perceives entitlement needs to be understood. Not so much understood by the woman. I mean, not so much, well, what's the woman thinking? It's what we're thinking because we're the one that's pursuing, right?
Mm-hmm.
It does not mean that the woman cannot participate in this.
Mm-hmm.
What we're finding, and again, if I'm crazy, you guys tell me. When we talk about the entitlement, however each one of these men on here may define it, we find that far more with women who fall into the category of being aesthetically beautiful to the halo effect, the Eurocentric standard of beauty. We find that, and far less with women who may not be that way. Men, is that incorrect or is that spot on?
Spot on.
That's spot on.
100.
What we're trying to say is, however we define entitlement, it is whatever how it is defined and presents itself in the experience that we have. It is heavily skewed to the women who will both be dime pieces, who will both be a baddie.
I agree with
and the women who are not as much seems hella reasonable and so forth. So then there's this conflict. It's like, well, dang, which goes back to what Paul Pierce was saying on the audio that I played earlier. Who has been around? If anybody's been around beautiful women, NBA players around beautiful, they come after them all the time. They are professors at understanding physical beauty.
Yeah.
And what we're saying is those baddies, almost in every situation, we ultimately, if it doesn't happen immediately, it happens eventually. We experience some level of entitlement simply based on not the fact that you're a human being, whatever else, but you fall into a certain category of physical appeal to anybody else. And what we're saying is it is irrational. And we can have those conversations and things of that nature. But off the time, we just kind of go like, look, we tend to ghost. We stop the phone calls. We go next. Tyree, speak to that, bro. And then Moses.
Yeah, I think we already kind of like spoke about this a little bit earlier. Really is I think it was what Moses was saying. Like,
yeah,
you really doing this, like seeing who I am, getting to see who I am versus expecting all of these things from me. Because we don't have a relationship. I don't owe you anything. I don't owe you anything. I don't even have to pay for this date. I could just leave, like, because I don't need this, right? But like, if we can just come together, because like similar to like what uh Doc was saying earlier, that's one of my plays too. Like, I start off with a coffee date because I just want to see the person. It's early in the day, and if the dinner
And why
goes
is
well,
that insulting? Why is the coffee date insulting?
Because she's
I think it's
Oh my
entitled to more.
God.
I think it's insulting. I agree with Kia. I'm sorry, Tyree. I agree with Kia because I think it does come down to people can't or just don't want to provide that, and it comes off as entitlement. I think when both people can have standards. Like if I'm a vegan and I go to a restaurant that only serves meat, and I say, "Yo, y'all ain't got no vegan options," they might be like, "Nigga, do you know where you at? Like, you can leave. Like, what are you talking about? That's our standard.
This Roscoe's.
We cook top tier meat, nigga. Go get some salad. Go to the backyard." So I do agree with kids. Like, hey, it could come off as entitlement to somebody that just like, you know what, I can't pay for that $300 dinner right now, and you're approaching me talking about you want a $300 dinner. That's your standard, cool. But there's somebody that will pay for that, and there's somebody that would approach me and be like, yo, Tyree or Dr. Dapper, I will go on a tea date with you because I really want to get to know you. And that other person that wants to go on a $300 dinner, they might really want to get to know the person too, but that's just their standard. So I wanted to like speak on that and say I do understand where she's coming from. And I think that is valid to say some people just can't provide it, or that's above their like standard or threshold, and they might see it as entitlement just because like, who are you to ask me for a $300 date? Like, and it's like, well, shit, you just can't pay for it, brother. And it's, or you just don't want to, and it's okay if you, and that's fine.
yeah, I think as men we also have to, like, we're responsible for what we allow the people that we're dating to get accustomed to. So if we start off here at, Mastro's, like you threw out earlier, like, is that what our dating life is going to be like? We're going to Mastro's, we're going to, all of these places all of the time? Or is it like, this is something we're going to celebrate, you getting a degree. We're going to celebrate and save like certain things like that, and certain trips and stuff like that. Like, it got to be tiered. Like, what makes it worth all of that?
Yeah. Summer, you want to chime in on it?
Yeah, I was just sitting here and thinking about my own personal experience, and I've had people look at me and assume what kind of vehicle I drive just based off of what I look like. I was a therapist, school-based therapist, and
But you do drive a Range Rover though, so I'm just saying.
It's giving Mercedes C300, like, like real.
That's all
I'm just saying.
That's very assuming. That is a testament for my point right here. And but I wasn't driving that. I had a Toyota Prius 2005, and this teacher is like, I thought I was going to walk out into this parking lot and see you jump into a Mercedes. And I was like, well, why would you see that? And I think that was a testament to the value that I carry or hold, there at the school site. But I think that just speaks to the point of some people can look at someone who's attractive and make a lot of assumptions about what they might be about in terms of material things. I've had wealthy men try to throw money at me or throw themselves at me just because they have money, and really that's not adequate enough for me, and it was their assumption that made me feel very uncomfortable in actuality. So I don't know if you guys can speak to that. I mean, you guys seem like pretty humble men that are trying to keep your finances maybe under wraps a little bit, but there are those out there that can perpetuate things. Because I just think, man, if he's doing this to me, and I'm 47 years old, and I had almost, well, I know my ex for about 30 years. We were married almost 20 years. So, when I experience this with people, and then I think, gosh, and they attract 30-year-olds because they're walking around, placing on Facebook or whatever, their wealth, putting their wealth out there. I got this Gucci bag, I just got this, this vehicle, I'm making all these purchases and stuff. What are they expecting to attract? So I don't know, can you guys speak to that?
Marvin, chime in on that, bro. No, it's internet.
Well,
It's shaky. Ugh.
You can't hear me?
No, you're
No, we
good.
got
You're
you
good.
now.
So Carrie, you can't hear me?
Yeah, you're good.
Okay, yeah. Um, I'm only pausing because it's what you value, tangible versus intangible. It's kind of like a just a snapshot of our community. How in the midst of that entitlement, you have men who are the same way, where you have your value is what you could grab. The fat gold chain. When I was growing up, fat gold chain, but the diamonds in mouth grill, and you have all the stuff on you. It presents well, right? But doesn't necessarily mean it is well, because had they been cultured, a lot of these, now here's another good spin too. You may have a small set of women who are have this entitlement, as far as this 10 who are in a high socioeconomic class, but a lot of times it's kind of class based. I don't know if Cameron worms, but it's true. Those women, because of the fact that they're looking more at worth versus value.
Mm.
Well,
You know what?
people use what they have.
Go ahead, Dan. Say it again.
People, men and women, when dating, they use what the tools that they have. A rich man, a man who has excess money, he's gonna flaunt that money. A man who has good looks, he's gonna, and a great body, he's gonna come in with a tight shirt, haircut on point. He's gonna use what he has, and the same thing for women. A beautiful woman's gonna use her beauty. A violent man comes in, acting all thuggish, and whoever wants that thug, that's what he uses, because some woman is attracted to that.
Yeah, absolutely. I think that's an important point. And I think it also kind of points to the answer in a way, is that we're seeing these as tools. I love that metaphor. Tools can be switched out. So this is why I will always push for having those conversations, as a change agent, just overall. And again, not that you have to continue to subject yourself to someone who doesn't care about you on a deeper level. But I think that, not assuming the absolute worst, that it's an ingrained characterological piece to this person, but it's something that is changeable, just based on, hey, can I share this with you? And they can maybe change a tool out, they can maybe humble themselves. They might be able to be a little bit, the word, remorseful for their actions. Are we giving people that opportunity, that grace, or that space to, take a step back and, think about their actions and how they're coming across?
Summer,
Yeah,
we don't run into
I'm so
that
hope-filled,
woman.
aren't I?
We don't run into that woman. We run into resistance, and I hate to say that word, the lack of accountability comes out when you try to point out, the way that you just said, or the way that you approached me, the way, well, I don't see what's wrong with it. All I said was, well, and then it gets flipped. If you're broke, say you're broke.
Understandable. Yeah, that is something that I'm sure discussed you guys pretty much, and you would like to see women, and I hope women do hear this, that we need to grow a tolerance for this kind of feedback, from men, that they're really in your corner. We might hear it coming across, poorly. We might have an initial offense to it. But if you can just take a pause for a minute and just think that this man, he put an effort to take you out. Is he really trying to, degrade you? Or is he trying to give you honest feedback, to help make the situation better?
I think this is a good question right here. What can a woman do to express her desires and not be seen as demanding or entitled? And I wanted to answer that. I was going to say, it's literally just changing the punctuation, changing from a period to a question mark. Like versus saying, "Oh, you got to take me to Masters," or "I like going here. I like to go to STK. I like to go do this. I like to do that," or "You got to do this." Changing from like you have to do this, or this is what I do, to like a question of like, well, how do you date? Where do you eat? What are your standards? So if you ask those questions, you give people the option to then have the conversation, and y'all can both
Yeah.
learn your lifestyle and what your expectations are and what your limits are in certain areas. I think men have to do that more too. Men don't get what they want or desire from women because they don't give them the option to choose if they want that. Like if you want to
Oh,
have, if you want to have a threesome, or you want to be in a throuple, or you want to be in
goodness.
a relationship, give
My
the
man used a threesome as an example.
Right.
yeah. Give the woman the
He
option
meant
to
from a
choose. I learned.
polyamorous,
I,
not from a sexual, from a polyamorous relationship is what he
You
meant.
see,
Ain't
I
that
see,
right,
learned
Doc?
that.
you
Oh,
see
I
this?
learned. I learned that. Like that was one of my biggest lessons in dating. To this point, dating older women is like giving women the option to choose. Don't just say, "Oh shit, she probably ain't gonna want to be in a situationship while I'm sleeping with other people." Give her the option. Maybe, and men remove the option for women to choose, and they never get what they want because they don't give the option for women to choose.
Yeah.
yeah, because that never happens the other way around, right? So Anthony, go ahead, bro.
Yeah, okay. So I wanted to chime in, and we always, it seems like this comparison is made a lot. We always talk about things from basketball players, football players, this and that. And those are like the higher rungs of society that I would probably never reach. So when we say these things, you have to keep in mind the majority of people will never play in the NFL, never be in the NBA. Will never come out with a platinum album. And we look and we take these dating, I guess, anecdotes and soliloquies and all these different, situations from stuff that the higher echelon people in life are doing that don't even really apply to us. And it's like Marvin was talking about, there's a class dynamic that people don't really, when you're dating, that you don't really discuss. You know what I mean? We just kind of, particularly in the Black community, we don't really discuss, okay, how to date among the different classes and how behaviors differ among the different classes.
Yeah, so I'm going to completely disagree with you on that. I think just because he was an NBA player, there may be a certain tier of women you talk about, but we're just talking about pretty women in general. And the reason why you guys are all on here, because you've experienced a certain thing with women who are deemed societally beautiful versus women who are maybe not be as societally beautiful. And it's a completely different experience. That's what we're talking about.
Well, Karen,
We're not. Go ahead.
Yeah, and all those is comment relief. I like what Robert said, like the pendulum has swung. And what I mean by that is just we're on here now because pretty is not enough, but the comment relief is, I've been on dates with, and I want to call them fours and fives and six, who act like they're 10s and 11s. I'm like,
Entitled.
how do you? But conversely, though, I've talked to women who said, who said, they've
What's wrong with you
dated
having a
men,
baddie standard, right?
but they've dated men who, like, he ain't even ugly, but you thought he was Denzel. You know how he was acting. So the pendulum has swung on both sides. I mean, it's a hard word, but it's an honest word. Yeah.
Oh, that's hilarious. We need to get to some solutions here. Okay, we're almost at 8:30. Can we go another 15 minutes? Is everybody good? And particularly Daniel, I know you and Moses, you guys on the East Coast. Can you guys
We
hang
on
with
that
like another
East Coast
15 minutes?
time.
15 more minutes. Give us 15 more
15.
minutes.
You
15
got
more minutes.
15.
Okay, 15 more minutes.
Yeah, I got you.
10. Okay, well.
It's a
Okay.
great comment too, in the chat box as well.
Yeah. So
Want me to read it for you,
yeah,
Carrie?
go
Are
ahead.
you
Yeah,
good?
no, you
Okay.
go ahead and read it. Go ahead and read it,
Okay.
please.
With pretty women, you may be in competition with high value men who have whisked the women away on romantic escapades to get her attention. If you step to her, it's probably not out of character for her to assume that you are of the same caliber as everyone else who has asked her out this week. She may be a high earner herself, and as such, she treats herself to maestros regularly. So that's her minimum of how she treats herself. Perhaps men might ask questions about her lifestyle before becoming overly invested in someone that doesn't enjoy the same things as you.
So let me just respond to that really quickly. As a moderator here, right?
Okay.
So what the hell? I don't care if you eat a Nobu for breakfast every day. What's that have to do with the fact that I approach you and want to go and grab, a coffee from Starbucks and go walking to get to know you. Is it about me trying to get to know you that I have to come up to a level of what you do on a regular basis when I'm just trying to have a conversation? We're just trying to get to, and I'm not trying to be some big time endorser of men only do coffee dates. That's not that's not what I'm saying at all, right? I mean, you do what you do, right? But I'm saying this whole materialistic thing that just blocks any kind of intimacy, which feeds this notion what we as men perceive. Again, I want to say it again. It's not what you think is entitlement, women. It's what we perceive as entitlement, because we're the ones that are driving the process that you expect us to, right? So we can pick up the tab and things like that, and whatever the case may be, it's what we are perceiving. And and I love what you said, Summer. That was such a utopia, a utopic. I don't know how to say it. Utopic comment you made. That why don't you have a conversation with these people? Change one person's time. You know something? This is a great day, but I've really thought that you were very entitled. Now, how do you think that would go across, fellas? Having that conversation. Say, what the hell? You told back mofo and whatever else, and everything else you'll be called. Oh my God.
It's
You
okay.
had to tell me in the
feel
first
like
place.
it's wasted energy because you're like,
It's wasted. Oh my
I'm gonna
God.
go there. I'm like, there's other people that want to date me or whatever like that. If I was, I mean, I'm not dating right now because I'm focused on my little one. But the thing is, I'm like, I know in my 40s, if you got your act together, you can see that you carry yourself, you got your own hobbies and all that stuff. I'm like, I don't even have time to be bothered with it too. So I'm not even gonna sit down and tell them what their issues are, what I see. But on the same thing, what Carrie was saying about the dinners, though, if they like that lifestyle, I'm cool with that. But that doesn't fit me because I'm not gonna keep on spending $300 bills on dinner after dinner after dinner. I was talking to a friend, she was dating somebody, and he brought her out like $150 dinner and another one, another one, another one. He's like, he stopped talking to me. I'm like, so you went on how many dates? She's like, I went 3. I'm like, he probably spent over $500. I'm not saying you have to drop your panties down, but I'm saying he's gonna expect something, but you're not getting him anything in return. What you should have done if you were really interested in him genuinely, instead of having him spend $500, $600, $700, be like, let's go somewhere less expensive. Let's go here. I just want to get to know you. Thanks for bringing me out these last 2 times. But at that point, you should probably put the brakes on and say, if you're really like, oh, we vibed those last 2 times and he picked me up, got me a nice meal the last 2 times, let me show him that it's not about the food. It's about him. And then that way, as a guy, you're like, oh, she's actually cool. She doesn't want me spending her money. She wants to get to know me. But at the third, if you go on the third date, at that point, it's probably going to be most guys' breaking point there if they're like really feeling her and she's not coming to meet me halfway. She just wants to see me keep spending money on her. But maybe that's what she's accustomed to, and that's okay. But at some point, someone's going to hit their breaking point, and where is that at for each individual?
I feel bad for women. I feel bad for women because 100% of women want 1% of men. It's impossible.
Yeah.
Like they all
Numbers aren't there.
Most women want a 1% high value nigga. And it's like there's not a lot of them. And so if you are in the 1% as a man, from the standpoint of, stable, got your shit together, you want the legacy, you're locked in, you're handsome, you work out, like
Later, Kyrie.
they're we in the driver's seat. Shit. It's like this my show now. Shit, because you want one of all of us, and I don't know, it's definitely more women than per man. Like each man has so many women to choose from when it pertains to them being in that high value category. And all these women are going after all those men. So women, I mean, some not settle, but it's like the standard that they have set an expectation for the type of man that they'll get or that they are desiring to get. That's got to be reevaluated because it's not a lot of those men in the pool in general.
Some of their standards are so high. I've talked to girls that are like, he's got to be over 6 foot, he's got to make 6 figures, and this and that and that. And there's an app somewhere, it breaks down how many black men or men in general are in that percentage. I go, you're shooting for 0.00 or like 0.1%. I go, that's not counting the guys that are married, the guys that are in a relationship, because chances are if they're that good of a guy, someone's already trying to snatch him up. So you're fighting for this guy, but your standards, your expectations are up here, but he's got all this to choose from and you're not meeting him halfway. So he's like, why would I have to bother with that person? Why do I have to explain what her issues were? I'm good. I'll go to the next one. I'll go to the next one. And we have this situation where we're connected with apps and social media and all that stuff that you don't have to be bothered with the headache. I'm like, I'm good. I don't need the headache. There's plenty of other ones out there. So if you're in that small percentage where you're successful financially, you got your act together, you got your everything in line, you're like, well, I don't have to deal with that.
So,
But you know, someone
Yeah,
earlier said that we don't have the woman who really is interested in you. A lot of these problems that we're discussing don't come up.
100%.
When the woman
oh,
comes through humble and
100%.
respectful, and she doesn't come through with her hands out like cups. You know, she comes through trying to be a partner. You can, but the problem is, a lot of these brothers don't recognize what's going on. But if they decide they want to go ahead and chase this woman who's not reciprocating their attention, they're not
Right.
giving back what he's trying to give.
Yeah, I was just Prince of Comic Relief, man. I've come across some women where my Lord Savior Jesus Christ couldn't even compete. Like he wasn't even her type. It's like, and that's Jesus. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
And they have certain tells. If you're talking to someone, she really likes you, and she's going out with her homegirls, she's gonna text you at dinner. Hey, what are you doing? Like all of a sudden, she's making herself available. You can tell there's tells.
Yeah. You
But
know when the vibe is right.
3 weeks, and then she's like, "Oh, hey, how you been?" You know, so you can kind of. I mean, there's certain tells.
Hey, Christy said, I would prefer, she said, Carrie, I would prefer what you said, get a coffee and go on a walk. I want someone to get to know me as a person and not try to buy me with expensive dinners. Yeah, so I think there's something phenomenal in what Daniel just said in terms of the one who really wants you. Matter of fact, it's interesting on social media. You know, there's a lot of junk and mess on there, but sometimes they are dropping dimes and gems all day long. The one girl straight out said, the woman who requires you to get her hair done, takes nails, and all these dinners does not like you. Straight out said it.
At all.
Does not really like you. Wants to use you and everything else and so forth, and maybe some other comments. Okay, I want to honor you guys' time. Can we go around to each panelist and then I want you to wrap up? But I'm going to start with Rob. Can you just tell us, or just less than a minute, share your thoughts on the topic and what you think the women on here need to know regarding this sentiment, why it's a dilemma for us. Go.
I think because we know what the competition is, we know that there's a lot that we have to deal with on our side, but we also, I think, recognize what they're dealing with too. So I think at the end of the day, if someone is genuinely interested, they're gonna show effort if you show effort, right? And if they're genuinely interested, they're gonna be all these tells. So I think if you figure out how to meet them halfway and show that you're not just interested in what they're willing to offer, but just them as a person, and say like, I can grow with this, that's gonna be a happy medium, I think.
Yeah, awesome. Dr. Dapp, same question.
For me, I think we never got to the I'll answer like the actual topic, the pretty girl dilemma. We never really answered it. Maybe that's what you just asked us to answer. I'm mistaken. Let me just answer it. I think the dilemma is, or dilemma in general, you have two options that both have like undesirable outcomes, and it's tough to choose those. You have the pretty girl that's an airhead that annoys the fuck out of you. You have the girl that's like, okay, she's not the most beautiful person I've ever seen in my life. She's not breaking my neck, but she's very knowledgeable. She's well off into her career. She's, locked in with her like the building legacy and entrepreneurship, whatever it might be. And it becomes a tough situation when, you're thinking about, do I want the beautiful girl that's optics, or do I want the person on paper that's like, yo, this is my person that I can build legacy with? So that creates a dilemma for men. Yeah, so that's what I think about the topic.
Yeah, that's what's up. Marvin.
Oh, just a gem for you ladies listening. 3-to-1 ratio, and that is okay. Hold on, listen, because no, seriously, listen, because you all gonna miss what I'm about to say, ladies. This is a powerful gem for you. If you want to keep the standards up, that's fine, and you have that pretty entitlement. You go out, first 2 dates, let him pay for it. But that third date, surprise when he goes to the bathroom, surprise him and pay for him. Pay for that date. It's gonna change. It's gonna rock his world. And you talk about access and buy-in. It seems small, but just the mere fact, what it shows is that you actually are vested too, right? So just 3-to-1 ratio. Remember that. You don't have to follow it, but follow it and see what happens. See if you don't get engaged within 6 months. Anyway, go ahead.
Yeah, facts. Daniel, bro, break us off.
Man, the pretty woman thing, I guess earlier, we created that. It's not necessarily their fault, but the guys, we have control in that. We have a say so. We can choose to find a woman who's funny, find a woman who's supportive, choose to focus on that woman who acts like she likes us, the one who, she returns what you're giving her. And it's worked out for me. It's worked, it's like women always ask me, what do men want? I always tell them we're very, very simple people, and we're never really as confident as you all think we are. We just been faking it for so long.
Yeah.
We know how to stand up, act right, but no, just be supportive, be kind, have a good sense of humor. The men will come flying.
Yeah, yeah, facts. Anthony, bro, thoughts? Okay, so he fell off the Golden Gate Bridge. Oh, there he is. Go ahead, man.
I just forgot to turn my thing on while I was in a couple of errands, but anyway, generally, like I said, it's a lot of these issues have to do with class and not necessarily pretty looks. And I just leave it like that. They're not necessarily.
Come on, cameraman, so we can see you.
Oh, okay. There's more. A lot of the issues that we're talking about are more class based, not necessarily based on attractiveness of the woman. And I'll leave it at that.
Okay, cool deal. And last but not least, we have our resident therapist. Please give us your submission.
Someone though, I think Raz didn't speak.
Oh, Raz is still here? I think Raz jumped off. Or
did he? I see him still plugged in.
Okay. Raz, you there?
Maybe not.
Raz.
Okay.
Okay. Well, I guess not.
All right. We gave you a chance, Raz. We wanted to hear your voice. So I guess my summation would be, this is something that I have been really focused on in couples therapy with my clients, just to keep it real simple. And I won't be able to kind of flesh it out so much with you guys, but I was trying to think how I could summarize this real quick. So 2 words, connection and contact. Connection and contact. First, we have to be really connected with ourselves. We have to be making contact with ourselves in order to make true contact with the other person. So after the attraction, are you really connecting? Or I will say versus, so that you can kind of see the picture, versus making assumptions, leading with anxiety, leading with desperation, leading with superficiality, which could be your money, your aesthetics, etc. If you're not making connection and contact, then we're going to do all of those things. And we're going to probably miss the opportunities for a great person or great conversations that can lead past the dilemma that you guys are experiencing. So, for example, like when we had this scenario that someone painted about this woman who comes from a high value standpoint, and the initial reaction was, oh, don't touch that. That's a problem. Making contact is being curious, empathizing with where they're at, which I heard a few of you men do. I feel bad for women when they, have this small pool that they're looking for. If you're able to demonstrate that you can make contact with the heart, you might get different results just from the very beginning. And this stands true for women too. Are you making contact with the man? Or are you leading with superficiality? Are you leading with your looks? So if we're able to do that, we might have different outcomes.
Yeah, that's good. Moses, are you still on here, bro? She went off camera. Moses, you still there? No? Yeah, well, he's in Jersey, so he may be falling asleep over there. Anyway, we want to thank everybody.
I'm still on the road. My bad.
Okay, well, anyway, give us some final thoughts, bro. Final thoughts.
All right, so like I said, it's all depends on what you're going for. If you actually take the time to get to know somebody, pretty girl syndrome won't be a thing for you, because then you'll just know who to weed out and stay true, unless If that's not what you're looking for, if that's not the right material you're looking for, then just keep going.
Yeah.
Take that time, get to know them, give them a fair assessment,
Mm-hmm.
and then, yeah, if it's in it, if you're in it, go for it. If not, then just leave it alone.
Yeah. Super facts.
I wouldn't even hit it because you get caught. That's how you get trapped. So
Don't
just
do
leave
it.
it alone. Don't do it. It's a trap.
Yeah.
We want to thank our entire panel for this very stimulating, provocative discussion regarding the pretty girl dilemma. We want to thank Marvin, Dr. Dapper, Daniel Hill, all the way from Augusta, Georgia, working it out. Rob, Anthony, want to thank even Ras on the road. That was a beautiful thing. Our bi-coastal buddy, Tyree, and Moses all the way from New Jersey. Did I miss anybody? I think that's the whole thing, right? Yeah. And then obviously Summer Richards, who is our licensed marriage family therapist as well. So one thing I'll just leave before we get off here, Spike Lee had this movie out a while ago with Denzel in it, and it was called The Inside Man. And it was interesting because it was all about this man who robbed a bank, and they were trying to find the man, but the entire time he was in the bank. And they ultimately discovered it was an inside job.
That's good.
I'm going to draw that for this example that this is an absolute inside job here. For those of us who are looking for love, it's what's on the inside. And look, as men, we're wired to go after beauty. I mean, we see biblical examples of this and everywhere. So we want beauty. But there is something deep down that we want to know that you are with us for us. Not just what we can do, not what we have, that you legitimately want us. And whatever that needs to happen, what needs to experience, that's a beautiful thing. Again, I want to thank everyone for joining the podcast. Again, my name is Dr. Kerry Neal. I'm the host and moderator for Urban Birds and Bees. Next time, we'll come back to you with a very interesting podcast called Celebrity and Single. So we'll bring on some celebrities, how they navigate the dating scene while being a person of note, and what that all looks like. But anyway, you guys have a good evening. Stop. Facebook. Stop. All right. All right, you guys. Have a good evening.